Artists, storytellers, beatmakers, these are the latest news, deals, and free plugins from the music production world. Flite is a new software synth from Wavea, and there's a free version with 200 presets you can download today. The free version, called Flite Play, gives you over 2.5 gigabytes of sampled synth sounds from classic synths like the Yamaha CS80, U3, Juno 106, TR-808, Oberheims, Lindrums, and lots more. I have to say that the presets sound really good. Now, there's a paid version as well, but you do get a lot just with the free version. So check it out. You have all these presets and also 8 controls at the bottom here. Kind of reminds me of Arturia's Analog Lab. These controls change depending on the preset you have loaded and give you access to the most interesting sound sculpting controls. There's also a little sequencer at the top here that just turns on and off. Yes, definitely some limitations on the free version, but don't forget you get a lot of sounds. Now, the paid version is $99 and lets you access the Flite Create version of the plugin. If you download the free version, you will have 20 minutes of access to the Create version. I think you get 20 minutes each time you open it. Now, of course, pay up and you can see you have access to lots more, including filters, 3 LFOs, the oscillators, mod matrix, and effects. Flite actually has 4 multi-samplers and a multi-engine synth, and 2 32-note modulation sequencers with randomization. By the way, this plugin comes from Sharuz Rayofi, who has worked on plugins before, and this looks like his latest venture. I like that he went with a full paid product with the Create version and not some subscription thing. This is definitely worth the download just for the free presets, which are excellent. I'll add a link to Flite below if you want to check it out. Question of the week: what's the best free synth software out there? Is it Arturia's Analog Lab free or something like the full Vital Synth? What do you use most? Comment below. Hot on the heels of the Console 1 channel, Softube just announced the Console 1 Fader Mark III, the hands-on mixer device for all the popular DAWs. Now, I've never tried one of these in person, but wow, I've really wanted to. The Fader lets you control your DAW's mixer, solo, mute, pan, etc. So what's new and cool on the brand new Console 1 Fader? Well, it has 10 high-res screens above the faders. That's the most apparent upgrade. You can also daisy chain fader units together to add more control of tracks without a hub. And get this, they say they've upgraded the motorized faders as well. They're calling them premium analog feel faders. They actually trademarked analog feel, which I think is pretty funny. Why'd they need to do that? Anyway, the faders have capacitive touch, which is nice, and they have haptic feedback. Haptic feedback gives you some feedback when you reach 0 decibels, for example, or they'll actually let you know when you clip, and it's supposed to help with automation and EQ adjustments too. Now, feeling when you clip is pretty interesting. So you're just moving a fader and actually feeling it tap back to you to let you know that that track is clipping. It's kind of nice if you don't trust your ears. They've also improved how the fader device works with the channel device, much better integration when adjusting parameters. The new Softube Console 1 Fader is $1,000, which isn't cheap, but still costs less than the SSL UF8, which I think is a direct competitor to this. Do any of you own the SSL or Softube Console 1? Do you think they really help your workflow? Let us know in the comments below. It was only a matter of time before someone did this. This is a new virtual instrument called Slower, made entirely out of the concept of half speed. 230 presets of guitars, strings, synths, woodwinds, all recorded to real tape machines and then played back half speed. So what you're hearing is a pitched down and slowed down version of the original sound. And everything is done with analog tape. They actually used 4 different types of tape machines, including the Studer A812, the Tascam Porta Studio, and a Sony dictaphone. And when you play back the presets, you can choose which tape machine you want. This is a very interesting concept for sure. I mean, I've used half-speed plugins before to get that effect, but now they've created a whole instrument or library of sounds out of it. The slower instrument is compatible with the free Contact player and includes 27 built-in effects, modulation, macro controls, reverse, and a lot more. Slower is from E Instruments. They've actually built instruments for native instruments before. It's 99 euros right now until October 10. Hey, if this video is interesting or useful, can you help me out by hitting the subscribe button? It's totally free and it would help me reach my 1 million subscriber goal. We're at 484,000 right now, and every click of the subscribe button helps me bring more content and value to you. Izotope has released a new plugin. And that's always exciting, right? Well, their newest, called Plasma, is a saturation plugin. It listens to your mix and then adds the right amount of saturation. And Izotope says that it's really good at adding what's called a holographic effect to a mix. If you've ever listened to a mix going through rail tubes, you might have heard this. It's a subtle effect that adds some liveliness, depth, and space to a mix. Now, Plasma is good for full mixes, but there are also profiles created for drums, vocals, and more. Here's an example of some audio put through Plasma.
We're spilling memories. We laughed, salt sticking to our clothes. The water felt so sweet with the sand between our toes, erasing everything we used to.
This example was provided by Izotope. I think I've often overlooked this type of effect in my mixes, so I'm going to test it out and let you know what I think. It's $49, which is a decent price for some Izotope stuff. I'll add a link below. Roland has released what seems to be a little brother to the SB404. It's called the P6 and lets you sample sounds into it and then tweak them and sequence them. It's got a built-in mic to handle the recording, and once you've sampled something, you can apply filters, chop things up, and add effects and more. The sequencer has 64 steps and can do micro timings and sub-steps. You can also use the sequencer keys as a keyboard. You've got those familiar Roland effects like vinyl simulator, looper, stopper, lo-fi phaser, and you can connect the P6 to a computer so you can use their software sampler tool to edit samples. You can save up to 48 samples on the P6, and it runs on battery power for approximately 3 hours. It's $220 and you can already pre-order it. All right, I've got some deals, but before we get to them, a word from our sponsor. Are you thinking about putting your music out there? Well, DistroKid is a simple and fast way to get your music onto Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Pandora, pretty much everywhere. And DistroKid collects earnings for you when anyone plays or purchases your music. It's simple to use and includes tools to help you build your audience. I've created 2 videos on DistroKid that will probably answer any questions you have. You can watch them right here, and if you're ready to sign up, use the link below to get 7% off your first year of membership. So how about some deals? The Atom Audio A series of speakers are on sale right now. The A4V right here is $50 off, and you can get the bigger versions of these speakers as well. This sale ends this month. If you're looking for some cheap plugins, Chords by Loopmasters is an interesting instrument plugin featuring inspiring chords. It's only $10 right now, down from $79. Brainworks Mag EQ4 is $21, down from $208, which is awesome. This plugin is a dream for adding some sparkle to vocals. I use it all the time. And if you buy anything from Plugin Boutique this month, you'll get to choose between Audiority's Pyros or Excite Audio's Bloom Light. And just a reminder, if you're definitely getting Complete 15, you have until September 30 to do so to get the free Izotope Neutron 4 plugin with it. I'll include links to all these deals below the video. So another freebie? Yes, today's extra freebie, I hope you got the Flite player plugin already. This other one comes from Full Bucket Music. It's called Drum Tracks, and it gives you the sound of Sequential Circuit's Model 400 drum tracks machine that was released in 1984. They've created a true to original plugin here, emulating the chip itself, not just sample sounds. So you have the quirks of the original hardware as well. You get 6 voice polyphony and 13 drum sounds. I'll add a link below. By the way, if you haven't checked out Complete 15 yet, you can watch my high-level summary of what's new in the video right here. And I'll be releasing a full walkthrough of all the new instruments in the next few days. Keep making the music you love, and I'll see you soon.